Right, for more on the looming motion of no confidence against the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Kabelo Gwamanda, we're joined now by political analyst Ongama Mtimka. Good to have you, sir, and thank you very much for coming on tonight. What tactic is this that you think is at play now? I mean, they obviously know that they don't have the numbers from what it seems and how Kabelo was actually put in place. They need the Patriotic Alliance to be on their side. Currently, they are not on their side. They're in support of this government of national unity. There is obviously a reason why they're doing it. It could either be to expose the proxy mayor and put more pressure on them, certainly, and the strategy is not for now, but for 2024.
Well, I think the first thing to note is that the rash decisions that have been taken in the city of Joburg by the current coalition have thrown that municipality in disarray, and I think that this is not the kind of approach that should be tolerated by South Africans, where you find that, you know, the same coalition keeps chopping and changing, and there's not much thought about who can take over the reins of that city, and there's no holding each other accountable for the mess that has been brought there. And I think that the challenge with the these arrangements where you have a 1-seat, 2-seat political party that's leading is that there is no accountability. Yes, indeed, I agree with you that the opposition is going to try and shine a spotlight on some of the challenges, and also, even if they know that there's no chance of winning, they will push. But you never know. There's always machinations within these minimal seat coalitions, where there's always a prospect that things may change right at the last hour. When there are processes like these being undertaken, they exploit gaps within the coalition. This becomes a reality throughout the term of any coalition.
Are they not confident themselves, I suppose, that this allegation that they're putting up will stick? Because, for example, if you take Makwarela, they knew exactly that they got him and they had him where they needed him. They went out, got the proof, opened the case, got him arrested, and he was out. It was done in Tshwane. This one, it seems there's a reluctance to go that route, to me saying that they are also not confident of the evidence and the information that they have at hand.
Indeed. So these parties are navigating the legal political nexuses in very interesting ways. There are times when it's politics of, profiling matters. So they would engage in an attempt to bring about a motion of no confidence to remain in the eyes of the electorate as the ultimate fighters for accountability, even if there's not going to be a consequence that is foregrounded as the main issue. You're quite right. If the legal case was stronger, it would be pursued with a lot more rigor. But also, it may be that they're testing waters in council first before or while building the case, or while exploring how to take matters forward legally.
Do you see ActionSA almost playing the role that I suppose would have otherwise been played by the economic freedom fighters had it not been in this coalition with the ANC?
So the opposition in general in South Africa has actually assumed the role of bringing about accountability, or wanting to be seen to be bringing about accountability. And the tactics that have been used have ranged from starting a process which you gain more by perceptions than you will by the outcome of what you are pursuing. walking out when budgets are being considered in order to try and collapse a council or to show to voters that we are not party to that decision, or in fact exploring the legal route. So all of these are attempts to keep framing the ActionSA as the ultimate whole champions for accountability in that place. And what we find is that this, you're quite right, it's a strategy that the EFF used in Parliament when they realized that from a numbers point of view, they're not they're not the official opposition, for example, so they act a lot faster than others in profiling matters, so that they can win what they don't have by warm bodies or bums on seats, as we would use in call center language. They gain by perception.
How sustainable is this tactic that they're trying to use? I'm talking about the government of local unity now, of trying to shield the mayor from at least media scrutiny at this particular point. I suppose they learned the hard way with the previous mayor and the interviews that he did, and yeah, getting himself quite unstuck there. And it seems they will go to great lengths to keep this guy from talking all on his own in case he talks out of tune. How sustainable is that?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be sustainable, but it's a prudent thing. If you recognize that, first of all, in the first place, there shouldn't be consideration for leadership for anyone who actually may be feared that they may falter when they are subjected to public scrutiny. So that very idea is not, it doesn't bode well in terms of what they are trying to do. But also, it's a prudent thing to do in the short term if the idea is to ensure that the mayor gets up to speed with the issues. Obviously, delivered the state of the metro address, but it's important to be circumspect about how much public scrutiny is there while they are still finding their feet. If this was a stance going forward, I think one would be seriously concerned.
Ongama, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on this evening. That's Ongama Mtimka there, some political analysis in the situation in the city of Johannesburg.